right, so I'll go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone. My name is Charlotte, and I'm a programs manager at Junior Achievement. My colleagues Kim and Cynthia are also with us today, and we are so excited for this JA Job Show with the Richmond Flying Squirrels. I think we all know that the Richmond Flying Squirrels are amazing, and so I personally am so excited for this kind of behind-the-scenes look at who works there, what it's like to work there, and what they look for in potential employees. So I hope you all are excited as well. Just a few quick announcements before we get going. Please turn on your camera if you can. We love to see your beautiful faces if that is a possibility for you. The volunteers from the Richmond Flying Squirrels might ask for your feedback or answers in the chat box. So feel free to type your answers in there. That is available today. And then we know that all the students have some awesome informational interview questions. So we have a full 15 minutes for those at the end of the presentation. And if you think of any others during the presentation, please jot those down, or you can put them in the chat and we'll answer those at the end. We will be recording this presentation today. So if you enjoyed it, you can rewatch it. You can share it with a friend. That will be available and will be sent out afterward. And then Kim, on the next slide. So on today's agenda, just to give you an idea of what to expect, we're going to do a little introduction of the Richmond Flying Squirrels. So we'll do a company overview, their values, etc. And then we'll do a virtual site tour. Next will be a human resources presentation. So an overview of the jobs at Richmond Flying Squirrels, the training and education and other requirements for jobs there. And then we'll go into those informational interview questions. That's the chance for all the students with us to ask your questions from the list of prepared questions that were sent out, or anything else you think of during the presentation. And then we'll wrap up with a little Q&A and end the day. So the last thing before we get started is I want all the students that are with us to use the reactions feature on Zoom if you would like to win $2,500. So it can be a little thumbs up, it can be a little clap, the yes button, if you are interested in winning $2,500. So the reason being, if there are any sophomores or juniors with us, you are eligible to apply for our JA Future Laureate Scholarship. Since you are participating in this program today, it's available to everyone. So we will send your teachers information about this after today's event. So please apply if you're interested. All right, that is all the announcements I have. So I'm going to hand it over to our folks from the Richmond Flying Squirrels. So Anthony, go ahead and take it away.
Thank you so much, Charlotte and Kimberly and Junior Achievement for this opportunity for us to speak to the group here today and all the students watching, not only here in Central Virginia, but across the Commonwealth. It really is an honor to have this opportunity. And just to give you a little bit of a look behind the curtain and kind of tell you a little bit about the live entertainment business, and especially the outdoor entertainment business. We were scheduled to have a press conference on Monday honoring the Richmond 34. And if you don't know the story of the Richmond 34, number one, it's our hope that everyone will know the story of the Richmond 34 and the work that they did and the contributions they made toward the civil rights movement. So certainly encourage you to look that up. We were supposed to honor them on the 61st anniversary, which was Monday. And unfortunately, Mother Nature had other ideas. So we rescheduled the event to this morning. And that press conference literally just wrapped up moments ago. So I ran from the podium and then came straight in here to talk to you all. So that's just a day in the life, quite frankly. That's how things work and function and operate. Again, when you work in an outdoor entertainment venue, you have to adjust, you have to fluctuate schedules, and things get a little tight sometimes. So again, certainly appreciate the patience and the opportunity to be here and to speak to everyone. But real quick, using that raised hand reaction, how many of you in the crowd, the audience, are baseball fans? You love baseball. Let's see the raised hand. All right. How many of you, especially those who live in Central Virginia, have been to a Flying Squirrels game? Let's see a raised hand emoji or a thumbs up or a clap emoji. Yeah, so perfect. That's the point. There are more people who have been to a Flying Squirrels game than there are baseball fans in the crowd. And that's what we do. You know, it sounds kind of funny to say it, me being an executive director of marketing and promotions, but we don't promote the baseball for us. If you're a baseball fan, we believe that you'll come out and watch baseball games because this is the place in Central Virginia that you are able to watch professional baseball. We more so focus on the entertainment and the experience. And that's really what makes minor league baseball so special, is the experience of coming out to a game. And you don't have to be a baseball fan to have fun and enjoy coming out to a baseball game, and especially a Flying Squirrels game. Whether it's fireworks, which, I mean, who doesn't love fireworks, right? Or giveaways such as this Edgar Allan Poe bobble stash that we gave away a couple of years ago. Edgar Allan Poe actually grew up in Richmond, spent some time in his childhood growing up in Richmond. He went to the University of Virginia for a short while. A lot of people associate him with Baltimore, but we've got the Poe Museum here in Richmond, so we wanted to celebrate Edgar Allan Poe. It was a salute to the mustache, so he's actually got a little felt mustache there too. But obviously, we dressed him up as a baseball player to have some connection. But whether it's that or whether it's putting a giant cat face on a jersey. Obviously, having our players on the field wearing giant cat faces is a bit unusual, but for us, it was a great opportunity to promote. That was Big Guy, by the way. He was the longest tenured resident in Richmond SPCA history. And it was our goal to get Big Guy adopted. And through the promotion, and we'd like to think through the promotion on the jerseys, that we were able to help find him a forever home. And also, we auctioned those jerseys to raise some money for the Richmond SPCA. So it's about that. It's about the fun. It's about being different. Our three core mottos, and I'm sure you're going to hear these brought up later, be impactful in the community, which certainly what we did with the Richmond SPCA, our Catter Day Festival, and what we announced today with the Richmond 34, those fall in line with that mission. Be different. Putting a cat face on a jersey is certainly different. And then most of all, have fun. And I definitely feel like you're going to hear that a lot today. And my colleagues and teammates here at the Flying Squirrels, we obviously work exceptionally hard. However, we also have a heck of a lot of fun, so much so that we spell it with two N's. So we definitely hope that you are able to kind of get a glimpse inside our organization, maybe a little bit more so than you already have, and how things kind of work and function on a daily basis, all the various departments within our organization, and basically what goes into the process of coming up with those out-of-the-box promotions and those partnerships that we form in the community in order to make it all possible. So to be able to talk a little bit more about that, I would like to welcome in my teammates and very good friends, Mr. Ben Terry, who's the Executive Director of Corporate Partnerships, and Ms. Caroline Phipps, who is our Social Media and Promotions Manager. So BT, Carol, I'll turn it over to you guys.
Hi, everyone. My name is Caroline. Like Anthony had mentioned, I am involved in our promotions, and I do our social media as well. So if you all don't follow us, that's going to be my first plug. Go ahead and follow us on all the platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we also have a TikTok. I'm trying to get into that, so help me out if you can. But a little bit about me. I am local to Richmond. I grew up here. And then I ended up at VCU and was able to get a part-time job here at the Flying Squirrels, working on our Fun Bunch team when I was in college, which ended up giving me the opportunity to work here full-time following graduation. So I've been here at the Squirrels for about 5 years now, which is crazy. And it's been a great path. So it's funny how life happens and one thing leads to another. But I know Oppo asked everyone if you had been to a Flying Squirrels game, but has anyone ever participated on the field in one of our on-field contests? You can do like the hand raise or the wave emoji if you've participated before at a Flying Squirrels game. Okay, I see some hands. That's awesome. That's kind of one of the things that I get to do is some of our on-field contests, which I'm sure you all have seen if you've attended a game. That's one of my favorite parts about my job, is kind of creating those ideas and coming up with what will be fun for fans to watch, as well as how we can collaborate with our sponsors. And BT, Ben will be speaking on sponsorship a little bit later, but he directs that. And then our promo team comes up with ways that we can incorporate that. So for instance, we have our build a chicken sandwich game. I couldn't carry those giant buns in here, but basically, I'm sure you've seen this if you come to the game. It's a Chick-fil-A contest, and you build a chicken sandwich with your body. So that's kind of one of the fun things that I've been able to do. Also, like Anthony mentioned, we do theme nights pretty much every game. We have 70 games. So we plan about 70 small events. That's how I explain it to people. You're planning an event for 70 different nights. So it's a lot of work and a lot of organization. So like you mentioned, one of our promo nights was with the SPCA, but we do everything from jersey auctions to bobbleheads, to having groups. We do different groups on the field doing dance performances, band performances. So some of my favorite things we've done obviously have been the Catter Day jersey, but also we have some more fun bobbleheads. We did a lunar landing night. This is one of our players, Stephen Duggar, who we made into an astronaut, a Duggernaut. And we did this as well as a jersey. We did a rocket launch on the field. So there's so many cool, fun things that we do that have nothing to do with baseball, but it's a lot of planning. So if you guys want to type in the chat box, if you're able to, an idea you would have for a promo night. It can be anything, like if you love swimming, we do a swim night, all sorts of things. So if anyone has an idea, type it below. I want to see what you have, because we're always thinking of different ideas. If anyone has any, can be anything. We've thought of the weirdest things. You can also send them to me on social media at Go Squirrels. If you want to. Ooh, Special Olympics night. Yeah, we've done that one before, I think a few years ago. But anything with nonprofits is really important to us. So we often do stuff like that. That's a great idea. Someone else just said something. Disco night. Oh yeah, I love that. We actually, I think we're doing a Vegas night this year with some Elvis, an Elvis t-shirt for sharing.
Carol, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I'm going to pass it over to you, BT, if you want to talk a little bit about the sponsorship side, how we make all that fun stuff happen.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, guys. I've had dramatic technical difficulties over here trying to log in remotely. Now I'm on my phone, so I can't see everybody or see what I'd love to be able to see right now. But as I'm watching those chat ideas come through, my job is to help fund all of these fun things that we get to do. So Anthony and Caroline and a couple others on our staff get to come up with the craziest, most outlandish, also impactful stuff. But my job then is to go find the corporate partners. My job is to then go find the presented by Ben Terry's Auto or Mason McDuffie, as Caroline just showed. And so it's an important component because ultimately things have to get paid for. It's one of those things that, we would want to do as much fun and crazy stuff as we can do, but ultimately it still has to get paid for in some way, shape, or form. It also allows us to really build some strong relationships. So I know Anthony was trying to give some insight into the press conference that had us running behind. Some of the things that we do aren't just crazy and off the wall. Some of the things that we do have a lot of impact in the community that we live. And so when I'm out there talking to a bank or I'm talking to a mortgage company, like was on the bobblehead that she just showed, corporate partnerships is advertising for those companies and those entities, but it also gives them the chance to be a part of what we're doing and be a part of the good that we do in our community. I think that's something that we would all say from an employment standpoint is we feel that we have an impact in the communities that we live, work, and play in. And so from the corporate partnerships, corporate sales side, money drives the engine or starts the engine or feeds the engine, I guess is the better way of saying it. But we as a crew, we as a staff come up with all the ideas. Everything that we do, all of these ideas that we have, everything that we undertake year in and year out for our seasons, really have a lot of different moving parts. So I thought I'd be a teacher once upon a time from an employment standpoint. I didn't think I would be a salesperson. When I was 20, 21, 22 years old and I was thinking about my career, I said to myself, if I ever have to sell something, it's got to be something that I would believe in. Well, I believe in what we do here, especially. The Flying Squirrels have a tremendous impact in our community. We do a lot of good. We make a lot of smiles happen. At the end of the day, my first job was welcoming Little League teams onto the field to stand for the national anthem with the big players. And I remember people would always ask me, what was your favorite part about your job? And it was high-fiving the kids as they were coming off the field. It wasn't selling anything. It wasn't, pulling the tarp on the field when it rains. But that's part of what drives all of us in this industry is a real desire to be part of what we do as a team. The great piece also is that people with different backgrounds can come into a sales role or a promotional role. I think that Anthony was talking about this at the beginning when I was trying to hop on, but we've identified as many as 12 or 13 different really backgrounds that can play into a job in professional sports and in minor league baseball. So when we talk about the chat, that we'd love to hear from you guys. What brands, what companies do you get advertised to through your social media? What messages are you seeing, whether or not maybe you thought about it before? What social media influencer, what are they pushing? Think about some of those things and feel free to throw those in the chat. We'll take notes on those because those are people maybe we want to talk to see if we can get them involved with ourselves. But it's also important for us to think about, folks from I hate to say it because it makes me sound old, your generation. How are you being messaged to? Who are you paying attention to? Because advertisers that want to spend money with us and help us do what we do, they want to get their message in front of your eyeballs as well. When we talk about going out and finding those corporate partners, there's again many different ways that they can be involved with us from what I'll use the term asset. So they could do signage in the ballpark. They could do social media, of course, which is such an important component of life these days. They can present a game. So Anthony, I don't know how much, I guess we just had the press conference, so it's out there, but we're going to be giving away an End Racism t-shirt as part of the Richmond 34 program that we just unveiled here a little bit ago. We're going to need some corporate partners that might have some interest in standing with us to help end racism in Richmond and in the region, who, ultimately will pay some money to be a part of that. So it's my job to build those relationships. It's not just, if anybody has a car salesman as a parent, I don't mean this negatively, but the old vision of salespeople was, I'm going to try to sell you and I'm going to try to do whatever I can to get your money. That's not how we approach things. We try to build relationships. We try to build partnerships is really the term that we try to use. And we don't tell people, thank you for supporting us. We tell people, thank you for participating with us, because when I have somebody on board, when we have somebody on board who's a sponsor, a partner of ours, they are part of what we do. And so they get involved and they really play a role in a lot of the different things that are important to us to be able to do what we do as a company. Does anybody have any questions along those lines? I know that, I kind of stepped in late, so hopefully I didn't jump too far off where my colleagues were already going there. But Oppo or Caro, is there anything that you want to ask me that maybe is left open that I could help out with that I missed out on when I was having a technical issue?
I appreciate that, BT. I think actually we'll have some opportunity for questions closer to the end. So, definitely, though, encourage people to continue to think of them as we go forward.
If you had questions for me to help.
Oh, don't worry. I'll pepper you with some questions coming up here at the end. Yeah. But no, really appreciate that, Caro and BT, Caroline and Ben, for that information. And again, letting you guys know, I'll kind of be our pseudo timekeeper. We want to make sure that we stay on schedule and keep everything on track, because I know everybody's got busy days ahead. So let's see. We got is the big guy? Is he's on? Yep, there he is. Okay. Hopefully he's had some time to catch his breath from running inside after our press conference. And it was great to be joined by the presidents of both Virginia State and Virginia Union Universities, as well as we have 4 local members of the Richmond 34 who are with us today. And even the mayor was able to come and celebrate this very important announcement today. So Parney already has been busy, and usually we hit the ground running, but certainly and am excited that Parney is able to join us. He's the CEO of the Richmond Flying Squirrels, and he's certainly a personality, and his live it philosophy just permeates throughout our organization. But he's going to walk us through a quick PowerPoint presentation. But I think for the most part, big guy, he's told this story so many times, not only about our organization, but his journey into baseball. So without further ado, the one, the only, Todd Parnell. Take it away, big guy.
Good morning, everybody. Anthony, remind me what time limit you have me on here, because I could talk about this stuff for 3 hours.
I got you for about 10 minutes, big guy.
Oh,
so,
I got to talk like the Federal Express guy on TV really fast so everybody can hear and understand what I'm saying.
I'll give you a 2 minutes. I'll give you a 2 minute warning. Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably have to speed up on some stuff. Well, welcome everyone. It's so exciting to be with y'all on a very exciting day in Flying Squirrels history. It's been a rough journey for us the last 500 days or so, but to be able to just participate in a press conference that had 4 members of the Richmond 34 who sat down in order to stand up for racial equality on February 22nd, 1960 was probably the most moving experience of my entire 33-year minor league baseball career. It's been a really moving morning. And we can answer questions about that as we get to the end. But I think what my friend Anthony Opperman wanted me to talk about was just our culture here at the Flying Squirrels. And culture is a word that you hear a lot. And, sometimes great and sometimes not so great. And when we got to Richmond in September of 2009, we wanted to be more than just a minor league baseball team. We proved that again today. And the mayor in his comments even said that he knows that we want to be more than just a baseball team. We want to be an integral fabric of the community 12 months out of the year. That's really, really important. So right when we got here, I just see on the fancy Fun in Funville screen, which, by the way, that picture of me is in my office here at the Diamond, which I got some pretty cool memorabilia now that I look at it, Anthony. But we started with three things, and you see them here on the screen. The first thing is have fun. Like, y'all, we're not guaranteed tomorrow. Like, it happens every day. You see someone who's just living their life and something happens to them. Thank goodness he's okay, because I'm a fan. But, Tiger Woods didn't think he was going to get into a car accident yesterday. Could have been much worse. So have fun every day. And beyond having fun every day, how can people want to be around you if you're not having fun, right? Like, we work at a ballpark. This is supposed to create levity in your life. You're supposed to be able to come to our diamond, your diamond, and you're supposed to be able to forget about your problems, whatever they might be. That's the environment that we have to create. So we have to create an environment that's fun, first and foremost. And part of that also involves cleanliness, safety, affordability. Like, there's a lot of underlying levels that you might not normally associate with fun that are associated with fun. And some of you might be looking at the screen and saying, why is fun spelled F-U-N-N? Well, that's because we wanted to be so much fun that we actually added another N to the word. That's how much fun we wanted to be. And it fit our phone number, and we wanted our phone number to be F-U-N-N. But it was really important to us that we were the second thing on that list. We wanted to be different, and spelling fun with 2 N's was one of the different things. You can't see my pants, but I wear crazy pants all the time. It's one of my things. One of the things that we're known for here at the Squirrels is the crazy Parney pants.
Stand up, big guy.
What's that?
Stand up.
Okay, Anthony's making me stand up. I gotta stretch out. So my pants today have flying squirrels on them. They are available at the Squirrels Nest for sale, by the way. But I think it's important that, like even if you don't work in baseball, it's important to be who you are. It's important to walk like you want, talk like you want, be yourself, be you. And for us, that was being different. The Richmond Braves were here for a long time. They did great work. We're forever grateful for the foundation they set for us in baseball here in Richmond. But we wanted to be different. And that started with the name Flying Squirrels. There's never been a team in organized professional sports named the Flying Squirrels, ever, ever. So I think we were different. And then finally, and most importantly, and part of this is exactly what we've been spending the entire morning doing, is be impactful. Like, we didn't want to just be a baseball team. We wanted to be a community fabric that people came to for help. We wanted to be a community fabric that people came to as a melting pot in this community, and that takes a 24-hour, 7-day a week, 365-day commitment. You have to, as Anthony said, live it every day. There are no days off. I mean, even if we want people to have their mental breaks. That's really obvious, and I've learned that through the years. We want people to separate and spend time with their family. But when you're out, when I'm out, I'm wearing the crazy pants, even if it's on a Saturday. If you find me without a Squirrels logo, that means that all my clothes are getting washed in the same day. Like we live it here 24/7, and I think that that's really important. So those are the three foundational principles. Who's got the thing? Anthony, do you have it?
I got you, big guy.
There you go. So here's a little, first of all, I love this picture. This picture is just, so indicative of the bright days that we have here at the Flying Squirrels. And during the pandemic, this was really, pictures like this really kept us going. But here's the history to your left. The inaugural season in 2010. There's several of us, Ben Rothrock, Anthony Opperman, Ben Terry, who you just met, are all people that worked for the Squirrels back on that very first night in April 15th, 2010, if my memory serves me correct. And then you see the success that we've had. But the success we've had isn't because we've set out for numbers. We've set out actually to do the three things I talked about, and the numbers are a result. You hear professional teams, I think the 76ers said it in the NBA, it's about the process. Well, that's exactly true. I prefer to say it's about the work. Like, results don't happen without the work. You got to do the work, and the work is the most important thing. And the work can be fun, the work can be different, and the work can be impactful. I see my friend Anthony scooting me along by switching to the next slide.
Two minutes remaining in the presentation.
Here's one of the things I want to make sure that I leave you with. There's a lot of different ways that you can work in minor league baseball, and it's not just about loving baseball. There's all kind. If you're into accounting, if you're into promotions like Anthony, marketing, if you're into merchandising, we have a huge merchandise operation here. Kyle Nichols is our field maintenance person. He's an agronomist. And then, of course, food and beverage, the hospitality industry. So there's a bunch of different majors in college that can be put into this. So don't think that you just have to love baseball to work in sports. Actually, it helps you not to love it so much because you need to focus on what you're doing. Anthony, you want to skip to the next one? Revenue streams in minor league baseball. Well, last year, this slide would have been empty because there were no revenue streams in minor league baseball. But the foundational principle, everything starts with ticket sales, everything, because ticket sales leads you to attendance numbers that lead to you being able to sell sponsorships. Ticket sales leads you to have more people in the ballpark that leads you into selling merchandise. Ticket sales leads you with food and beverage opportunities. The people are in the ballpark selling food and beverage. And the ancillary items like ticket sales lead to parking. Ticket sales lead to other things around the ballpark that create the revenue. So those are the revenue streams that we have in minor league baseball. We're looking forward to having those revenue streams back on May the 4th. And then finally, we love RVA. It's not an act, folks. We all love living here. We love being a part of this community. it's a real honor to be out in the community and have people say, "Hey, are you the guy from the Squirrels?" And that happens a lot. Or and it doesn't just happen to me. I mean, everybody else, Ben, Anthony, BT, Caroline. If you're out and you mention something about the Squirrels, people will say, "You work for the Squirrels." And it's a real honor to be part of this organization and all the things that Anthony or whoever did this. It's just a real amazing thing to be in this community. So I'm probably out of time. We love it. We love being here. We love what we do. Most importantly, we love what we do together as a group. I'll leave you with this. We like to say that we're a family business. We just all have different last names, and we actually probably get along a little bit better than most families do. So, Anthony, anything for me? Lou DeBell is blowing me up right now, by the way.
No, big guy, really appreciate you taking the time and sharing some of those insights. And, like Parney always likes to say, an empty seat never bought anything. So that's definitely the goal, is to try and get people here. And let's be honest, it's like throwing a party, right? If you throw a party and no one comes, it's not a very fun party. So the more people that come out to the parties that we throw 70 nights a year, just the more fun it is, the better the atmosphere. And so big guy, I know you've got some other business to tend to. So again, really appreciate you taking some time out of your incredibly busy schedule today. Quick hand clap reaction for Parney. Thank you so much, big guy.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you. Keep believing, keep doing what you're doing. And as always, have fun and go nuts.
So then that will, I guess, bring us to the question and answer session of the program. Delighted to also be joined by Flying Squirrels General Manager Ben Rothrock. Benny was part of the inaugural staff back in 2009. He actually was the merchandise manager for the Flying Squirrels and helped the merchandising aspect of the Flying Squirrels brand, and really kind of helped to push the brand out into the market, which was, as you can imagine, incredible when that was first announced back at the end of 2009 and going into 2010. And he's been with the franchise every single day since its existence. So like Parney, he's been there entire time, a wealth of knowledge in the baseball industry, not only with the Flying Squirrels, but previously with the Altoona Curve. He's worked with the State College Spikes, the Myrtle Beach Pelicans, and again, just has an absolute wealth of knowledge. So I guess, Benny, real quickly, maybe just take a couple of minutes to kind of, I guess, give a brief overview about, minor league baseball, working in minor league baseball, and then we can allow some questions to filter in on the chat.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Dapo. I'll just touch on what you just spoke about, and that's merchandise and I'm more directly incorporated into branding. And, branding in itself is what we tried to accomplish in the first year. And we really wanted something that, younger generation and even the older generation would just kind of adhere to and just, latch onto. And we felt that creating a brand called the Flying Squirrels, it was exactly that. It was fun. It was different. And then our important piece was be impactful. But more importantly, this brand, this Flying Squirrels brand, is not only known locally, it's not only known regionally, it's known nationally. And that's because of all the work that we've done here locally to make that happen. When we first set forth in the fall of 2009 to develop this brand, when we saw the first renderings of this, we knew we hit, no pun intended, a home run. And, a lot of things that came along with that, but, regionally, it really took off. We were selling, merchandise to every single state, many different countries. It was an overnight success. We ended that first year in setting records in minor league baseball for retail sales, but that wasn't the most important thing. It was making sure our brand was out there and people were aware of what we were doing on a national level, and that's exactly what happened. Fast forward, now 11 years, that brand still stands tall. is still one of the elites in Major League Baseball and minor league baseball as well in terms of logos. And we're proud of that. We're proud of that on many different levels. But going back to what Parney and all the other ones said is being impactful day in and day out. And when they see the logo, when they see our brand out in the community, they can make that connection to what's the good stuff that we're doing inside of the community. And that's what's most important. In 20 years now doing this and being in this business, having many different hats along the way and many different opportunities in 4 different cities, RVA is home. And, this community has really grabbed a hold of what we're trying to do. And it's rewarding to see day in and day out, especially what we just witnessed here this morning with the announcement of the Richmond 34 legacy and the weekend that's going to come up this year. But, minor league baseball has changed over the 20 years that I've been in this business, and a lot of great things have happened. There's many different things that have transpired over the years, and this has become a place for people to escape. And one of our mottos, or one of our alter egos here, is Funville, so to speak. And Funville is whatever you want it to be. It could be bringing your family out to a game. It could be bringing your corporate business out to a game. It could be a business partner, business transaction. But most importantly, what we get out of it every single day is not how many sales we make, how many impressions we make, but it's the impact on people's lives. Watching that grandson walk through the front gates with their grandfather, watching that son or daughter walk through the gates with his mom or dad. At that point, it doesn't matter how much they purchased the ticket for. It's the experience that they're going to have that night, and one memory that they're never going to be able to go without the rest of their lives. And that's the most important thing. And being able to be that escape, especially the time that we're in right now, we welcome the opportunity for 2021. We welcome the ability to showcase this community in 2001, because there's going to be a time where everybody's going to be ready to get out and get back to normal and some sort of normalcy. And we're here to open our gates and welcome them back in.
Yeah, no, all well said, Benny. Again, if you have some questions, not only for Benny, but also for Caroline, I think BT's still hanging around, as well. Feel free to fire them off in the chat. I know we did get one question about Ben Rothrock, if you were from Richmond. So I guess real quickly, maybe we can go around. All right, so Caroline's from Richmond. BT, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Connecticut, but I've lived in Richmond now since 2000.
And then Ben Rothrock?
I'm from Pennsylvania, and I went to Liberty, graduated from Liberty in 2003. Somewhat close to the area.
I think we got a question too, Ops, about how teenagers can get involved with our organization. I can answer that really quick. This year is going to look a little bit different just because of the year we've all had. I think everything looks different, but we have a lot of different opportunities for teenagers and college students. Like I said, that's how I got started. And I think that's how most of us got started, is working in the industry on a game day. So anything from being on our Fun Bunch promotions team, working in the team store, working in the concessions, being a bat boy or a bat girl, we have a ton of different opportunities to get involved here. And if you want to get your foot in the door in any entertainment world, it's a great first job to have.
I appreciate that, Caroline.
And don't forget the traditional job shadow opportunity. So coming in for a week and being part of the front office, we've definitely done many of those over the years. Obviously, 2020 and 2021 being a little different, but we would certainly hope to be back to being able to welcome folks into the office once things settle down a little bit.
And BT, while we've got you, Sam asked the question, what do you think you guys have done more successfully marketing related than other minor league teams? And I pitched that to you having been in Richmond and working for the Richmond Braves and having been around other teams, working with the Potomac Nationals, University of Virginia sports properties. So what is it about the Flying Squirrels you think have led to the success marketing wise?
So the biggest difference from my past experiences, both in other markets and then also here working for the Richmond Braves during the 2000s, is our approach to the community in a holistic, well-rounded manner. We are, and you've heard this a couple different times from my colleagues, we're not just a baseball team. I think back to 2009, before we actually had started playing baseball as the Richmond Flying Squirrels. And in the month of December, we launched our logo, we launched our brand. And what we ended up doing that month of December was aligning with a different nonprofit and giving back some of the proceeds each day to a different nonprofit in this community. And I think we ended up giving back about $25,000 again before we ever played a game. And I think it's that approach, it's that mentality about doing more than just being a baseball team, looking well beyond the actual stands and much more to the region in terms of being able to help people do things that maybe they wouldn't have thought about us as a partner. Using that approach where we work with, and I use the term partners as opposed to sponsors, welcoming our fans in with high fives at the front gate. Nutsy and Parney probably make 500 to 600 appearances in the community a year. We are omnipresent. The Richmond Braves, for better or worse, kind of shut the doors after the season was done and really didn't do a whole lot in the community from September, October, November, December, January, February, March, and then started playing again in April. Whereas we take the approach of, all right, we're not playing games. Well, what else can we do during that time frame? And we've had coat drives. We've participated in the Richmond Christmas Parade when it's taken place. And I'll tell you what, the response to when Parney's dancing and we've got music going down Broad Street, that's nothing that has been done certainly in this market before we started doing it to that scale. So it's really just a different approach to the community as a whole outside of the actual baseball games. I think really sets us apart and stands out. And I think that you're seeing in the industry, there's a much more concerted effort to follow the approach that we've been doing, and we don't really know any other way since 2009, 2010.
Oh, good stuff, BT. I had a question here about classes that high schoolers can take to prepare for a career in the sports entertainment industry, and also majors in classes in college. So I guess we'll do another quick around the horn, and we'll find out everyone's major who work for the Flying Squirrels. So Caroline, college major.
I was a public relations major and a business minor.
And she does social media and promotions. Ben Terry, college major.
Government major, history minor, English subset. Thought I was going to be a teacher. Definitely not officially a sports process, but what it did teach me to do was think creatively and think strategically. And I think that really did help me out.
And Ben Rothrock, college major.
Sport management with a minor in business.
And probably, I think the most important themes to that, like BT had mentioned, was the creativity, the ability to think strategically, to make adjustments on the fly, as we've kind of already touched upon. And then, one big thing, as Parney had touched upon, the whole thing that drives the engine is getting people to the ballpark. So finding ways to get people to the ballpark, and really it's sales. And I think sometimes that can be a nasty 5-letter word. However, it's not, like we talked about. It's inviting people to be a part of what we're doing here. And when you're making calls to groups about coming out to a game, it's about inviting them to come have an experience. Same thing to individual ticket sales buyers, same thing to corporate partners, that opportunity to get their messaging and their branding out and do it in a fun, creative, different way where people are dressing up as giant chicken sandwiches. That's what this is all about. And so, there are a variety of ways to prepare for that. There've been a number of, I was a radio, TV, film major and theater minor in school. My original career path was radio broadcasting, and that's how I got into baseball, and then ended up focusing more on marketing promotions later in my career. But all of that plays a role, and a lot of it is the critical thinking and strategy. Let's see. Experiences in high school that prepared you for your position now. Yeah, BT.
Sports, certainly. I also worked on our student newspaper. I also volunteered a lot. And so when I'm looking at resumes for people fresh out of college, and this is again for you guys thinking ahead over the next 4 to 6 years, or even if you choose not to go to a traditional 4-year college, that's quite all right. What I look for the most is getting out there and doing stuff, whatever that means. Being active, if it means helping your community, great. If it means being part of a team, and I use team in the loose term, not necessarily sports, that's great. I think those are the things for me that really show that you have a desire not just to sit back and kind of let life come to you, but you're actually out and going and doing and being a part of things. In our industry, that's very, very important.
I agree, BT. When I'm looking at Fun Bunch's resumes, most students have not had their first job yet, and that's completely fine. It's a great first job to have. But I love seeing clubs, organizations, sports. I did dance and theater and all that stuff, which has really played into my career here in planning promotions and doing Fun Bunch and putting on costumes and dancing on the dugouts. It's just getting out there and getting involved and kind of being a leader in anything you try and do.
I know we're kind of up against time here, but Ben Rothrock, real quickly, being the general manager of the team, when you're looking to hire a full-time person, I know the skill sets, there's certain skill sets for certain positions, but overall, what kind of person are you looking to bring on board to the team, and what kind of person fits the culture of the Flying Squirrels organization?
Yeah, just to echo what BT and Caroline said, it's the experienced one, but it's getting out and doing the different things, just being involved in your community, your church, different organizations, being that leader, being the vocal point, being a voice. And that's what we look for. We look for leaders. We look for self-motivators, because a lot of it is like to be able to step out of a comfort zone once in a while, and to be able to, be innovative, to express your thoughts and your feelings. Like, we can't have someone sit in the corner and just, do their thing. You need someone that's going to be innovative. You need someone that's going to, take it to the next level. So being out there, like they said, being a leader, being involved, that's all great things.
And I would just add to that as well, for us, it's so important to be out in the community and embracing the opportunity to do so. And it really is a cool feeling. That's kind of where I'll leave it. It's a really cool feeling when you're out and people say, well, what do you do? And say, well, I work for the Richmond Flying Squirrels. And it never fails. The reaction is always, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. We love the Flying Squirrels. We love going to Flying Squirrels games. And there's really not many other occupations or jobs where, people will pay to have the experience that you get the opportunity to put on for them any given night. It's a great responsibility, and we take that part of it very seriously, but it really, truly is an honor. And, again, can't thank you guys enough for allowing us to share some of our experiences with you all today.
Awesome. I have one question for Caroline really quickly. Do you have any interview advice for high schoolers, whether they're looking at part-time or full-time positions there, entry-level positions, or even any resume tips as well? I know you touched on a couple, but didn't know if you had any typical do's and don'ts.
Yeah. For a resume, I feel like a lot of times people get nervous if you don't have a ton of experience, if it's your first job in high school or right out of college. But really rely on those experiences that you had in college or high school. Put that you were president of the school newspaper, put that you were on yearbook. All those things are really important. And especially with high schoolers, you do so many things at school and in your community with your friends that you might not think we care about, but we do, because that gets us the ability to get to know you. And in an interview, tell us about those things. I like having a conversation with someone. I don't want it to be uptight or scary. So just kind of being yourself, as silly as that sounds, and talking about things. I remember when I was interviewed initially for the Flying Squirrels when I was in college on the Fun Bunch team, I talked about how much I loved mascots and how I went to VCU. I'm a huge basketball fan, and how I loved they asked if I'd be willing to get in a costume. And I said, yeah, any day, put me in one. Do you have one I can get in right now? And they were like, no, you really don't have to right now. And I was like, I will. So just be yourself, be weird if that's what the job calls for. But yeah, that's what I would.
To echo Caroline, one of the things to think about with resumes, as she said, put anything and everything that you've done actively that isn't just classwork. Because at your age, at this stage in life, it's your starting resume. Resumes evolve. So don't have a hesitancy to put that in now, because that'll get noticed. And then once you actually get to the point where you might be interviewing for a job, what I'm looking for myself is for people to be interviewing me. I want to hear them asking questions about my job, about what I do with the organization. Because then it's actually a conversation back and forth, as opposed to me asking you yes or no stuff and you just sitting there going, no, yes, no, yes. I want to be able to have that conversation and know that you've thought about what we're discussing, what we're going to talk about. So that's something that I'm looking for out of the individuals.
Yeah, and doing your research too on where you're applying ahead of time. Go on their website, look at their social media, bring up things you saw, things you liked, things you have questions about.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. Well, if we don't have any more questions, thank you all so much on behalf of JA. Thank you to all the students and teachers that joined us today. I personally loved learning more about the Richmond Flying Squirrels, and I hope you did as well. And we hope that you consider applying for a job or getting some entry-level positions, some part-time positions at Richmond Flying Squirrels or just in the industry. And a big thank you to everyone from the Richmond Flying Squirrels. You guys did a great job. And we really appreciate you sharing your knowledge and all your expertise with these future professionals. So thank you all again. And we hope that all you students and teachers join us again in March for our next JA Job Shadow.
Thanks so much.
Great. Thank you guys so much.
Have a great day.
Have fun. Go nuts.